Okay, so now that the discussion is being recorded, good morning and welcome to our topic discussion. Title is Reading Skills Enhancement. So basically, what you are seeing is the title of the discussion. This lecture is meant to, for candidates, it's meant for you to acquire essential skills needed for the reading subtest. So the other subtests, namely speaking, listening, writing, would be discussed on some other occasion. So our entire focal point would be on the reading aspect of your exam preparation. So skills acquisition is pretty easy, but further enhancing them would need you to take it up to the exam. So that means you have to undergo several sessions of practice. And when I am asked with students what's the best practice in reading, actually, I forbid them to read. When you ask, sir, what's the best practice in reading? And they're telling us it's not reading, are you crazy? Yes, partly crazy. But the truth is, you will not improve so much if you will be reading the entire thing. So this is just a piece of advice that did not came, did not come from me. It came directly from the examiner. Once again, insert magical sounds taking us back to 2018. I have a lot of sources now. You guys ready? So let me sit. So now in 2018, I attended this IDP trainers program, which means that the examiners have collaborated and made this 2-day workshop so that lecturers from all over the country would learn how to properly teach IELTS candidates because they're fed up with Filipino ways of doing things. We keep on telling you guys, this is not the way how to do it. So that's the reason why every year, IDP and British Council conduct this Train the Trainers workshop. So I was able to attend, if I'm not mistaken, 4 of those workshops, first time 4 years. So during the height of the pandemic in 2021, Sir Irvin, our CEO and president, was the one who attended in person in Singapore. So, nasalubungan naman namin mga kopya. So now, the speaker that time was Dan Golden. You can actually Google him. And he would appear as an image. So he's actually this long hair, old guy, glasses, a bit chubby in build. Parang sabi ko, parang si Santa Claus. Madumi. So, yung itsura niya. Imagine nyo na, okay, yun siya. So he was speaking in front of us, in front of hundreds of people. And the first part was reading. First part was reading. So you would ask why. The way how the examinations happen would be listening first, reading next, writing next. And speaking could be scheduled anytime between or after or before the written test. Why did he begin with reading? So you would be wondering why. We actually wondered why as well during that time. So the feeling is mutual. So that time, he told us this story. So look at the story. I'm telling a story, but the person was telling a story. Story. Inception, all right? Ikaw na natawa. Ikaw na nakaintindi ng English na joke. Kwentuhan tayo mamaya. Alam mo nakaintindi sa akin. Ang hirap ng buhay. So, that's the thing. So he was telling a story about his colleague. So Dan is actually a faculty from University of Cambridge. That is in UK. And knowing faculty, he's a professor, and he has this co-worker who's also a professor, a female professor. So now this the professor asked Dan, "Hey Dan, I'll be taking my IELTS exam soon. Is there any tip to give? Why do faculty members from University of Cambridge need to take IELTS? They are, number one, natural-born British citizens already. They are faculty of one of the most prestigious universities in the world. Why do they have to take IELTS? Well, because IELTS was invented by the British Council and IBP, which originated in the University of Cambridge. So definitely the status of a faculty member would improve significantly if they would get a high band score in an IELTS exam, further cementing their legacy. I'm bragging rights. I'm an invento ko. Dapat puro perfect ang exam. But that lady took the exam. But right before that, Dan mentioned, hey, there's just one tip I would like to give you. The reading test, don't read everything. Don't read everything. Don't read the entire thing. Why? Why do you think Dan would go so much preventing his colleague, the University of Cambridge faculty, with major in literature? Can you imagine that? A person taking her major in literature, teaching, not just taking the major, but teaching the major in literature. That means they have to read books, they have to study, not just the words, but how these written compositions came into being. They have to dig deeper beyond that. Why would that prevent his colleague? Huwag mong basahin lahat. Yun lang tip ko sa'yo. That's my only suggestion. Do not read everything. As expected, the results of that female faculty member came out. Listening test, perfect, 9.0. Writing, perfect, 9.0. What would you expect? Literature major, professor in literature. Speaking, natural-born British citizen, has been using the English language for how many years? God knows how long. 9.0. What about the reading test? She got 6. You guys seeing the sudden turn of events? 9996. Why? That lady didn't listen to Dan. Sabi niya, pagpasok niya ng faculty, sabi niya, oh, wait a minute. What's her score? Let me know. And then she cracked the news. Dan was very upset. Told her, that's exactly what I warned you about. I know you guys are wondering, if you read the entire thing, you would not get a score that is higher than 6. That lady, by the way, got all the answers correct. All the answers correct. But she only was able to manage to reach item number 27. Ubusan siya ng time. You know what? Reading is actually easy. Even though it's difficult in content, it is easy. If I have like 6 hours to do this, give me 6 hours, I can get a perfect score. If I give you 6 hours, you can get the perfect score. If I give you 5.5 hours, you can get the perfect score. 4 hours, sure. 3.5, fine. 3, I'll do it. 2.5, let's go. But 1 hour answering 40 items has this academic difficulty level. That's not going to be an easy task. So Dan, the examiner, has his story to tell. I also have a story to tell. I mean, it's 20 minutes on, The discussion, I'm just at page 1. It's going to take us again at 2 o'clock. All right, with all of the stories. So, my story, one of my friends back in college became my student here in 2017. Ma'am, huwag niyo pong galawin yung share. Nakalagay po yan for a reason. So, my friend became my student in 2017. He took his examination and stayed here for about 3.5 months. Healthy timeline for a preparation. So, he managed to get an 8 in speaking, 7.5 in writing, but 5 in reading. You guys seeing the picture? Last year, from August to October, I was very upset with the batch that I coached. Why? Kept on getting a band score of 5.5 in their reading test. As expected, they're getting 7 in speaking, 7.5 in writing, 9 in listening. But when I look at their reading test, 5.5. How come? Diba? For me, again, ito naman siya sa pinapagalitan ko yung mga students. Sayang kasi. Although, if you guys are planning to go to the US as a nurse, you're planning to get an overall band score, especially for Canadian applicants or for UK immigrants or skilled workers, you don't have to take reading very seriously. But I take reading very seriously. Yung lahat yun ay mataas, yung maiiwan na isa. Sakit sa mata na sa akin. No? Okay? So I want you to have this very refreshing experience that after taking the exam, you have this renewed confidence in. For example, at McDonald's, may pila. Punta ka sa unahan. May matandang babae na nakapungkod. Lola, tumabi ka dyan. Naka-9 ako sa reading. Ba't ako mauna? You have this regained level of confidence. Ano ka ba? Senador ka lang, ha? Ako, naka-9 ako sa reading. May pagmamalaki ka na sa mga magulang mo. Pwede ka na makapag-inuman sa tatay mo, tapos pag nalasing kayo, makapag-susukuhan kayong dalawa. Ha? Ano ka? Tatay lang kita. Ako, naka-9 ako sa reading. Nag-gets niyo yan? You have this renewed confidence. I want you to have that. You deserve that. Okay? So now let's get serious. Based on the stories I've told, reading could be critical, especially if you are looking for an overall band score. If you add 8 and 5 together, that is going to give you an equivalent of 13. If you get the average, that is 6.5. 6.5 is not a band 7 overall. So if your reading will be the one pulling your score down, it could hurt your exam results. So, napaka-importante po na to para sa mga nangangailangan, tinatagalog ko na, ng overall band score. One time, naka-encounter ako ng student ko who is bound for US. 2016. Nag-retake siya. Sabi ko, sir, bakit mag-retake ka? OBS 6.5. Tapos, speaking 7 ka. Sir, sabi ko kasi, nung state, bawal daw po kasi may reading score na mababa sa 5. 4.5 yung reading. Naka-9 siya sa listening, naka-7.5 siya sa writing, naka-7 siya sa speaking, tapos 4.5 yung reading. Overall band score ng 6.5. But the state did not accept the application because the reading score was very low. So all he did was to take the exams again, get a pretty decent score in reading, disregarding the other subtests. So I don't want you to suffer the same thing, especially for those of you who want to get an overall math score. Reading is something we should take very seriously. And step one in getting a high band score in reading is to not read everything. Because in doing so, you will consume all your time and not able to answer every item. That is your goal. Your goal is to provide 40 answers to the questions under 60 minutes. If you do the mathematics, you have 1 minute 30 seconds to spend for one item. 1 minute 30 seconds. 1 minute 30 seconds to spend for one single item. Yung iba, nakikita ko, nagbabasa, tatawa-tawa pa. Ganun pala yung mga isip. Ini-enjoy ni ate. Ano to, magazine? Nasa parlor ka, naghintay ka ng turn mo na mariban. Shouldn't enjoy this. You should take this seriously. Your goal is to not gain information, rather to acquire answers the fastest way you possibly can. That is in under 1 minute 30 seconds. Okay? Per item. You can do it even faster, better. But sometimes faster doesn't mean better. So you have to also make sure that you are not just reading blank, you're also analyzing during the time given to you. Okay? Slide number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Slide 84. May isa pa akong presentation. I hope you guys ate your breakfast. Okay? We'll be staying here for about a couple of hours. So send messages to your mothers. Nay, tagal po ako makaka-uwi. Kailangan po mag-aral para sa kinabukasan natin. Okay? So first, let's get to know the reading subtest. By the way, who among you guys have taken their exams already? Is there anyone who have experience taking the test already? Already have taken the exam. What was your reading score before? Hindi. Totoong exam. Hindi. So, no one. You have taken exams already. GP, where? Where was it? Pampanga, when was it? November. Then why are you retaking the exam? Or you're shifting to academic? Is that correct? Okay, so this lady right here took the wrong module, right? So that's one of the best way to throw 12,000 pesos away. You could like bought a pair of Jordan shoes for 12,000.
Yung kung pupuntahan ko po doon, lumipat po sila ng UX. So isang kita ko po ang Google.
Okay. Nice. That's understandable. Okay, hindi kita sinisisi. All right. So you will be taking academic this time around. You took the general training test before. Is that correct? What score did you get? If you don't want to tell them, tulong sa Kamila. All right. So she took the general training exam, which is actually much easier when it comes to comparison versus academic. I'll tell you this. Today you will experience the academic reading subtest, and you will say bad words. umpisa ka pa lang, nagmura ka na. Ganun pong kahirap si academic reading. So first, let's get to know the examination. So this is what will happen. When you book your test on a specific date and location, by the way, you're free to choose when and where. No one is taking this free will from you. If your mother, your husband tells you take the exams next month, you want to take the exams next week, no one can tell you otherwise, right? So if my students ask me when is the best time to take the test, my answer is always going to be the best time you think is the best for you. Kung ano sa tingin mo pinaka-the best na time, ikaw bahala. That's the only question. I can't give a guaranteed answer. Kaya, wala akong pakialam kung gusto mo mag-take this month, kahit kakapasok mo pa lang today. I don't care if pumasok ng Monday yung student, Saturday yung exam, I don't care. That's their choice. Diba? So, in the exam, when you book the test, let's say today is March 2. There's an exam going on right beside this one. So when they book on the website, on the IELTS British Council website, they clicked the calendar of March 2. Then locations will pop. We have Pampanga, Cabanatuan. If you want to go south, we have Tagaytay, Batangas, we have Laguna, we have Rizal. If you want to go even further down south, we even have Jensan, we even have Cebu, Davao. Okay? Iba pang students before nagtitake na exam sa sa Malaysia. Diba natin Legoland? Legoland muna sila, tapos mag-iaan sila. Kasi nagmamakaw sila. Bakit sila lumalayo? Bakit kaya? Guys, may loophole doon. You see, Filipinos are good English speakers. Because this population is saturated by the best people already. The standards are pretty high. Kung pumunta ka ng Macau, wala halos marunong English doon. Pumunta ka ng Malaysia, wala halos marunong English doon. Kaya pag pumunta ka doon, Pinoy ka, average performance ka na. Pucha, Reyna ka doon. Okay, na-get yung point? So in the past, some of the candidates did that. That's why we have students na mag-enroll dito, tapos after 2 months, nag-vacation lang sila, kung babalik na sila sa Saudi. No? Mahalata mo yun pag puro gold si ate. Saudi. Okay. So, pagbalik nila, doon sila magbubok ng exam. Dahil syempre doon, magaling sila. I get your point? So you book the exam on the place and time and date you want. March 2. We chose March 2 in Cabanatuan City. The type of test, computer delivered exam. We also have the pen and paper based test for those of you who would like to undergo that exam. And I'll explain to you the difference later. So we call this first date as your written component. Can you guys repeat that? Written component. So, sir, I'm taking the exam via computer and I still refer to it as written component? Yes. So, para hindi na po tayo magkalituhan, written component includes listening, reading, and writing in that particular order. Listening comes first, reading comes next, writing being the last exam. So listening lasts for 40 minutes. Reading an hour, writing also for an hour. Take a look at this. There are no breaks given between subtests. So you are expected to go on and finish the entire 2-hour, 40-minute exam without taking breaks. Of course, should you need to go to the toilet or washroom, you're free to do so. Just excuse yourself to the invigilator. Okay? So materials such as pencils, test booklet, and answer sheets are provided. on a computer delivered exam, you can also require if they would be giving you piece of paper or pencil to use as a scratch. But for the listening and reading tests, I don't recommend you doing that. Why? It will just take up some time. Once again, time is a very precious element in the reading test. You cannot let go to waste. Every second count here. Every second matters. So, huwag na pong magsusulat-sulat. Kung magdodrawing ka lang doon ng kung ano-ano eh, basta oras mo. So, already have an idea about the reading test. This will be the second exam right after you submit the listening answer sheet. And that's it. Now, in case you will be taking the pen and paper delivered IELTS, the answer sheets for reading and listening are identical. They actually share the same page. They're one thick page that is flipped on the front side, that is your listening. On the opposite end, that is your reading. So be careful not to tamper the front page because it will also affect the opposite end. So, of course, you are allowed to ask for an extra sheet of paper, an extra sheet of answer sheet, but it will take a lot of time transferring all your answers. Diba? Napaka-time consuming yun. So please, if you're taking the pen and paper based exam, be careful on the answer sheets provided. So what's the difference between academic and general training? May I see the hands of academic candidates here? Come on guys, don't be shy. So that I know who are the people I should take revenge on. What about GP? GD, my people. These are my guys. You know, my family. The first time we saw each other, there's already a spark. Blood is thicker than water. We're blood related, even though it's not. So, in comparison, on the academic side, take a look at this. More difficult. Yeah. Adjectives can be subjective, but everyone will agree with me when they experience taking the academic exam that this shit is indeed difficult. Why? The passages that you will encounter on the academic reading exam are all published articles in the past. So meaning they were actual literary pieces which have been published. And it adds to the layer of difficulty once again, since the passages will vary from one to the other. Passage 1 will be about polar bears. Passage 2 will be about volcanoes. And passage 3 will be about outer space. Or in some occasion, first passage about the life cycle of denim pants. Passage 2, the brain activities in relation to the electric conductivity of the impulses. And passage 3 about bacteria. Are you guys getting the point? Like, I'm a nurse, and I am going to read a passage that is about Intel's Pentium history, or how an advertisement affects the behavior of people of what to purchase or not. or how a typical plant could destroy an entire habitat. That is the reason why academic reading is difficult, because the content of this exam is of academic level. Clear? Whereas for general training, whew, napakasarap ng GP na exam. Lalo yung last na pina-exam ko bago umalis. Sobrang saya nun. Ano kung tungkol saan? Tungkol sa rice cooker. Totoo. May 5 picture ng rice cooker. Tapos meron siya mga description na pwede ba magluto ng brown rice dito. Nakalagay ito. Rice cooker A, let's say Winnie Rice Light, L-I-T-E. Okay, letter A. Tapos can cook brown rice in 20 minutes. Tapos question number 1, which rice cooker can cook brown rice? Hindi mo pa nakita, tututukin na kita sa mata. Masaya po mag-GP. Kaya mapapansin niya pa nag-reading, bawal academic. Yan, papasok sila, ayan, sila sir, sila ma'am. Kung fresh, no? Fresh, yan. Paglabas yan, 5 years ang madadagdag sa appearance nila dahil sa academic reading. Kaya mga GP, maging mabait kayo sa mga academic kasi may mga pinagdadaanan yan. Mga pinagdadaanan sila. Okay? Mabait kayo sa kanila. Kayo kasi, reading rice cooker na. Pwede washing machine. History ng pako. When was when was zipper first invented? Okay, question number 1. Tapos unang-una, first paragraph, zipper was invented in 1947. Sabi sa mga GT, pag hindi mo ito nasagot, pinasabi ko sa'yo, kating kita. Ayun na eh. Ando na yung sagot eh. Nakuha? So nag-get niyo po yung comparison ng GT and academic. Why do we consider academic as more difficult? Why do we consider GT as easier? Because the contents of GT are elementary or even lower level. But for academic, they are college to master's degree level. Ganun na po siyang taas na reading comprehension ang kailangan. Now, do they have the same number of words? Actually, for judgment, for being fair, they have the same number of words. Parehas lang po yan. Around 2,700 on a normal day, 3,600 on a bad day. Ganun kadami. Counting the words from the question. But, GT, it is much more divided. It is divided into 5 to 6 passages, which makes the reading even easy to crunch. Ano ba mas madaling gawin? Yung kumain ng malalaking meal or kumain ng maliliit na meal multiple times? Diba? So, definitely, if you're trying to digest everything in one go, ma-impacto ka, masuka ka. But it's easier for us to munch a snack or two every now and then, which makes the division of your entire requirement for the day much easier. I hope you guys get this picture. No? So longer passages for academic, shorter passages for GT. But GT, even though, kanina pa ka, sir, nanalo na naman kami, GT, we're winners, no? Kanina pa kayo nanalo. Siyempre, may downside yan. Meron din yung kaakibat na yung sasabihin ko, the problem. Okay? So, hindi lang po siya puro saya. No? Hindi puro Pasko yan. Meron din problema si GT. Ano yun? Out of 40 items, you need to be able to score 34 to get a band 7. So GT, what is our minimum target number of points, correct? 34, minimum. GT, what is our actual target number of score? acquired correctly? 40 out of 40. Academic, look at me. Okay? You only need to get 30. That means you are eligible to get a band 7 in the reading test. This will be our target minimum. But, okay, payag na ako sa 30, yun ang sumalab ko. Ganon. But ang goal natin, academic, is to get 40 out of 40. Tell me! Is this possible? Yes. It's possible to get a 9 in reading. It's even more possible getting a 9 in reading than in writing. So you can get 9 in everything. But not so much so in writing. Kahit mahirap si reading, kaya mo pa rin i-perfect yan. If you're just going to do all the right things, if you're going to hit all the right switches and turn all the correct keys, getting a perfect score in reading is possible. For academic, 30 points minimum, I'll settle for that. Hindi na ako sa mandal ko. GP, 34, pwede na. But your real target is 40 out of 40. Wala ka na ibang tatandaan. Tinanong ka, ano bang target mo? 40. Kalimutan ko, 34, 30. Wala, 40 target ko. Okay? So, sino po dito ang may kailangan lang ng 4 sa reading? Sino po? Yes, sir. Sir, maaaring mo na po ng iyong bag at ikaw ay umalis na sa ating bakit po? Ang pagkuha ng 4 ata, 17 to 18 points na. Kaya, yes, sir, kakaibiganin niya kasi mataas chance mga pagkanada niya. Yan ang yayaman sa atin agad. Tayo, mahaba-haba kayo pagkadaan. Una lang yan, sir. No. Sabi ko nga, pag may nagpunta dito, kung ako'y bantay dyan, lugi na kami. Sir, mag-IELTS po ako, ganito. Okay, what are your target band scores? Sir, I only need 4. Sabi po ng ate ko, mali po ang pinuntahan ng lugar, doon po kayo sa Green Lights Home Depot mag-review. Tambay ka lang doon, tingin-tingin ka ng mga tao, tapos mag-exam ka, nagpas ka sa 4 mo. Okay? Kung 4 lang. Sir, I'm not here to get a 4. Band 9. Turo ka pa. Band 9. Ha? 40 out of 40. Okay. So both exams last for 60 minutes. Sa pen and paper based exam, naka-flash po yung countdown timer. Sa computer delivered, nasa upper right portion ng countdown timer. No extra time is provided after the hour allotted for the test. So make sure to analyze questions, put answers within the hour provided for the test since there is no extra time given. Test taking stamina could be depleted here. We need to remember, this is not the most difficult test yet. Writing is waving at us from afar. So, if you guys are going to, reading, ilang hilo na ako, nasa 25 pa lang ako. Tapos, asan ba yung missing book ko? Meron kang mga magic, yung pampagising. Tapos writing pa, ano ka tatagal doon? No? That is why, at least once in a week, I encourage everyone to undergo a mock test. Okay? The mock test will give you this experience of taking the actual exam because our mock practices are derived from the past examinations. So whatever score you may get during mock is probably the one closest to the real score you would get on the test. Probably. Why I'm not very sure? Well, because 9.09er, we put the difficulty level of our exams, our speaking practices to the extreme. So if there are 4 levels, easy, average, difficult, extreme, nilalagay po namin sa extreme yung mga mock, nilalagay namin sa extreme yung mga speaking 101, so that if you encounter an easy level during your actual test, if you encounter an average level during your actual test, you have a higher chance of getting the perfect score. So some students are concerned, sir, I've been doing mock for every week. Sometimes 2 times a week pa nga, sir. Dito na nga, sir. Tira. Ito na po ako tumitira sa line. Martes, Biyernes, mock. Ito na nga po umagahan ko mock. Kapuna ko, mock. Pa-practice pa ako sa bahay ng mock. Alright? Sir, gamaya. Bayad ka Okay? I keep on getting 6.5. Sir, huwag niyo po gagalawin yan. Pakibalik po, hanap na lang po kayo ng maupuan. Sir, I keep on getting 6.5 every single time I do mock. So, sir, I'm discouraged kasi my exam is about 2 weeks from now. So I told the student, hey, you know what? The difficulty level is actually put to the extreme. If you're getting 6.5, chances are getting a 7 to 7.5 would be easy. So that's the secret. So ayokong magkaroon kayo ng false sense of security. Na pucha, 6.5 na ako, tangok na. 7.52. May pagparaga na ako ng inuman mamaya. Yabang-yabang mo humirap yung exam. Bigla. Okay, get some point. So randomly, it could be easy, average, difficult, extreme. We put it to the extreme so that kung ma-encounter mo sa extreme, ka-level lang nun, yung pinapractice mo. Kung na-encounter mo sa difficult, kaya mo pa rin. Kung na-encounter mo si average, mas lalo. Kung na-encounter mo si easy, na-perfect mo na yung exam. But I don't want you to have this false sense of security that I was able to get 6.5. I think this will be enough for me. So my suggestion is you are more than ready to take the exam if you will be getting consecutive 7s for listening and reading. When I say consecutive, at least 3 consecutive 7s. Kung hindi pa, kailangan mo pang magtagal dito. Okay? Wala tayong nagagawa yun lumabas Yun yung result Yun talaga Hindi naman namin dinaya. So, baka may kailangan ka pang idagdag sa skill set mo, baka may kailangan ka pang improve sa sarili mo bago ka mag-take ng exam. Para hindi tayo magsayang ng pera. Sayang O kung marami ka naman pera, bahala ka. I don't care, pero may. Gets what? So difference with the computerized exam, you have the ability to highlight the sentences from the passage by left-clicking and dragging. Alam niyo naman mag-highlight ng text using Microsoft Word or any other type of websites, ganun lang din naman. This allows the candidate to easily compare and contrast and makes the referencing even easier. So if you want to know more about the difference between computer-based and pen and paper-based exam, I'll have you watch this video for 45 minutes to understand the difference between the computer-based IELTS and the pen and paper-based exam. Share sound.
In the reading test, the text appears on the left and the questions on the right. To see all the text and the questions, you'll need to use both scroll bars.
So one thing I like about computer-based exam, Pag pen and paper based yung exam mo, unang problem ng mga students, ang lilit ng font. Okay? Gano'n ba kalaki yung font? Ganito. Ganyan lang, kaliliit yung font. Sa punta dito, mga 65 years old na. Then po tayo to. Madali lang ba tayo ni Lolo? Okay? So, if you will be taking the pen and paper-based exam, kung sakali lang, may kilala kayo na gusto ng pen and paper-based exam, upon booking, meron pong mga special considerations kayo pwede i-click. If you want extra large fonts, pwede. Para mo order sa Jollibee or sa Macdo. Thai part. 2 piece. So, mamimili ka, pwede mo siyang i-customize. So, extra large font, magiging ganito ng kalalaki yung font. Okay? Okay. So, in this case, the thing about computer-based exam that I like versus pen and paper, imagine, yung question mo nasa opposite ng paper. Balik na rin yan. May gets yan? Alam mo siyang ganun-ganun. Whereas, kung sa computer-based, tatapat mo lang yon doon sa question. Mas madali mo na siyang i-reference. Okay pa? Continue.
For some questions, you need to choose an answer. If you want to change your answer, click on a new answer. If you want to leave a question unanswered, click on the answer again. To look at the next question, just click on the question itself. For some questions, you need to choose more than one answer. If you want to change any of your answers, click on the answer you want to change and then click on your new answer.
So, I would like you guys to focus on this area, yung part 1, part 2, part 3. So, part 1, academic has items 1 to 13, sometimes 1 to 12. For part 2, 14 to 27, 26. Part 3 is 27 to 40. So, 13 to 14 items per part. So, you can skip the part. For example, wala kang answer sa question 2. Go to question 3. Click mo yung question 3, mapupunta ka na sa question 3. Okay? So we suggest skipping because oftentimes, if you guys are being on a loop, particularly kung not given, mamaya mapaliwanag ko sa inyo, nasa not given yung category, you will be searching for the answer endlessly. You will be tired as a result. But in reality, the answer is just not there. So you're just wasting a lot of your time. So you can save your time and energy later. Tell yourself, okay, I think I'll be spending more than 2 minutes. I've already spent 2 minutes on this item already. I think it's time for me to skip this part and go to the next. Later, I'll return to this item. That is an answered statement. Yun po yung technique. When I actually took the exam, I skipped the first 5 part. Partly because yung first 5 na questions ko ay matching paragraph headings and the paragraphs are very bulky. So sabi ko, I think I'll just waste my time if I continue. So what I did is I answered 6 to 10, then I move on to 1 to 5. Okay?
If you want to leave any of the questions unanswered, click on the answer again. For some questions in the reading test, you need to choose which paragraph or section contains the information listed in the table. Remember to scroll to read all the text. For each question, click on the correct space in the table. If you want to change an answer, click on your new answer. If you want to leave the question unanswered, click on the answer again. For some questions in the reading test, you need to click on a heading for a paragraph or section and move it into the gap.
So this is called the drag and drop. You click the answer on the left, on the right, there are choices. And then, lalaglag mo siya dun sa number. So according to this video, if you want to change it, just click another answer, put it in the gap, automatically the previous answer, babalik siya doon. Or if you want, can click, kung ayaw mo lagyan ng sagot, yung item na nandun sa 14, so halimbawa, nilagay mo itong removing the unwanted byproducts of city life, click, nilagay mo siya doon, teka, palitan ko pala, ito pala, the increasing speed of suburban development pala yung answer, click, nilagay ko siya doon, teka lang, skip ko muna, wala mo na ako ilalagay ng sagot, click the answer here, return it where you good, where you got it. Ganun lang kasi. Yan na po siya in action.
If you want to change your answer, move another heading into the gap. If you want to leave the question unanswered, move the heading back. And for some
Actually, ito, natanong na po yung exam na yan. Meron din po tayong sample niyan sa average reading. So natatanong po ito, the search for the anti-aging pill. Dalas na nag-a-appear yan sa exam.
questions, you need to write your answer on a gap in a diagram.
So oftentimes, it's not just interacting with the screen, clicking, dragging, dropping. Sometimes you have to literally type your answers on the space provided.
If you wish, you can also highlight sections of text. To do this, left-click and drag your cursor over the section of text or question you wish to highlight. Then right-click and select the highlight option. To remove highlighting from the text, right-click on the highlighted area and select Clear. If you wish to remove all highlighting from the screen, right-click on a highlighted area and select Clear All. You can also make notes on a section of text. To do this, left-click and drag the cursor over the section of text or question you want to make notes about. Then right-click and select the Notes option. Your chosen section of text will be highlighted and a yellow notepad will appear. You can write your notes on this. Click on the cross in the notepad to hide your notes. To see your notes again, click on the highlighted section of text. If you want to see which areas of highlighted text have notes, move the cursor slowly over each area of highlighted text. If a small orange box appears, it means that the highlighted text contains notes. To remove notes from text or questions, right-click on the highlighted area and select Clear.
Right. Okay. So as shown on the previous video that we have watched and as discussed during the past lessons related to reading, even years ago, the most important skill is none other than taking down notes and highlighting. So the underline keyword, if you're taking the pen and paper base, so you have to underline keyword from the question, refer it to the passage, and then compare, contrast, analyze, put the answers to the answer sheet right away. But for the for the computer delivered exam, you can highlight it. You have this yellow color that highlights the text, the entire sentence if you want to, and you can even type in some notes. So just don't be too happy, putting all the notes everywhere because number one, you may get confused. The reason why we put highlights in the first place is because we want to make the referencing easier, not to make you even more confused in the process. So other referencing techniques are also needed for better understanding of the context. So you keep on hearing, and you will keep on hearing it from me, that understanding context is also one of the important features of reading. Therefore, in Vocabulary 1 lecture, we teach the importance of context clues. A lot of times you will encounter words, especially for academic reading, since the content of your examination is of academic level. So naturally, words like haberdashery, mongoose, gargantuan would appear. Very sophisticated words, I know, but they are what we call highfalutin words. So since I have warned you with avoiding their usage in the speaking and writing test because they will not give you any improvement in your vocabulary whatsoever. But in reading, you will be seeing them. So chances are there will be occasions when you don't really know the meaning of the word. So does that mean you just cry in the corner? No, you don't have to give up because you can understand what a word means based on context clues. What is context clues? We can determine the meaning of a certain word based on the words which surround it. So for instance, this statement, Hani suddenly found himself destitute, so poor that he could barely afford to eat. So the word destitute could be a word that you heard for the very first time. Like, do you know what destitute is? Is this the first time you heard destitute? Probably, I'm guessing. So now that you heard destitute, is it difficult to understand what destitute is? No. Sabi doon, so poor that he could barely afford to eat. Destitute is the adjective. The explanation is that Hani is so poor, he could barely afford to eat. So sabi ng destitute, may hindi lang siya poor, but so poor. I get some point? Okay. What else? Kevin loves visiting haberdashery. It's his favorite place to buy suits and sewing kits. Haberdashery, what the fuck is that? I don't know. I haven't encountered that word. But this is the first time. I don't have the liberty to open my phone or check the dictionary and search Google on it. No. Wala tayong kakayanan sa mismong exam na gawin yan. So paano natin malalaman what a haberdasher means? Sabi doon, Kevin's favorite place. The first thing you need to understand is that this is a good word. Unless Kevin is a terrorist. According to the context previously. So naturally, this will be a bad word. So haberdashery, it's someone's favorite place. So technically, it could be a good word. And this is a place daw. So isa siyang lugar. Na-imagine nyo? Isang lugar kung saan pwede kang mamili ng mga damit, mga gamit panahit. So, you already know what a haberdashery is. Punta ka ng palengke, katahi ka, bumili ka ng mga sinulid, mga botones, yun ang haberdashery. Nag-Google tayo? Nag-cellphone tayo? Hindi. So that is the importance of context clues. So what I'm teaching you here is what we call the full context. But in Vocabulary 1, this is a 2.5-hour lecture, we have the partial context to be taught as well. Marami pa po itong paraan para malaman ang meaning ng word. So words in the reading test could be really confusing. So context clues will really help us out. One student claimed na, sabi niya, alam niyo yung sa mga commercials, na uminom daw sila ng mga tsaa na ganito, napakalakas na nila. No? Kasi yan, sabi ng student, sir, alam niyo, umaten lang ako ng vocab 1, puro 5.5 lang po yung mga mock practice ko. Tapos nung after vocab 1, nakaka-8 na po ako, puro 8 na. So context, napakalaking tulong po niya sa rin. Okay? Unfortunately, the words in the question is not the same as words found in the passage, which makes the reading test even more complicated. So take a look at this. This is an example question. The respiratory system functions to switch gases between the lungs and the outside surroundings. So if this is an actual exam, you will not see the exact same word in the passage. You would see something like this. The main responsibility of the respiratory system is to exchange substances between the body's respiratory organs and the external surroundings. What does that mean? They mean exactly the same thing, but the words are replaced with another. Parehas lang ibig sabihin niya. Ang trabaho ng respiratory system ay pagpalitin ang hangin sa pagitan ng baga at ng atmosphere. Yun lang. Ito yung English noon sa kaliwa, yun din yung English noon sa kanan. They basically mean the same thing. So, you need to be careful when it comes to using references because you will not see exact words. Clear? Okay. So we have different types of questions, different types of test items. We have the summary completion, matching headings to paragraphs, identifying the writer's views, whether it's true, false, yes, no, not given, multiple choice, one of our favorites because multiple choice. Favorite naman yung multiple choice? Oo, dali-dali ng multiple choice. Pag di mo alam, sige. Parang feeling ko B naman. Diba nakita ko kaninang umaga, unang pagising ko, nakakita ko ng pusa. O, cat, C. O, C ang sagot. Okay? Ganun po, sa multiple choice. So, selecting factors, table completion, matching causes and effects, sentence completion, and short answer questions and lists. So what are the steps that we undergo during the test taking? We read the questions first. We highlight keywords that we will be searching for in the passage. Sometimes the keywords themselves will not be the exact words that you will find in the passage. They're changed into something else. So read the passage by skimming and scanning. Ano po yung skimming and scanning? Pasada. Ano yung pasada? Mabilis. Sabi dun sa question number 9, Lewis find that soap operas are less boring than news programs. Ito yung sample passage. So, pag sinabing skim and scan, pumunta ako sa question, nakalagay doon, soap operas, news programs. Hanapin ko yung dalawang phrases na yun, ng sabay, dito, sa passage. So, Lewis believes not only that soap opera. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, dito ko po matatagpuan ang sagot. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Hindi ko kailangan basahin yung paragraph na nasa una. Ano, laki-laki na. Hindi ko na kailangan basahin yung paragraph pa dito sa pangalawa. Tatalo na ako agad dito sa pangatlo. Dahil kung gagawin ko yun, mauubusan ako na oras. So, ang ating pong rule, hindi mo ito babasahin. Pakikialaman ito. Punta ka agad sa tanong. Malinaw. Malinaw. Throughout the ideological octopus, ano ko pa kabagal ng basa? Justin Lewis raises an essential point regarding the formal structure of television news. Binasa mo, naka 8 minutes ka. Pumunta ka sa question number 1. Pumunta ka na naman sa question, hinahanap ko na naman yung tanong. Nakita, nakakaubos ang oras. So, jump straight to the question. Seek for the keywords. The keywords that you have identified will be the one that you use to search for the exact location where could possibly be the answer is located. And while reading the passage, you answer the questions. Okay? Maya-maya kakatukin na tayo ng kabilang email. Sinasadya ko yun. Diba? Busit ako eh. Gusto akong kapitbahay. Anong kapitbahay ng kapatid ko yung video ko hanggang 2:30 ng day. Mag-aalaga ako ng aso, maraming aso. Para patahulin lang sila. Taho lang kayo dyan, para mabusit ng kapitbahay natin. So, first type of question that we will talk about is matching headings. Can you guys repeat that? Matching headings. Ang hindi po umulit, babagsak sa IELTS. Isa pa, matching headings. Alam nyo ha, kala nyo ha. Niwala kayo sa sumpa. Totoo yan. Mga usog-usog, totoo yan. Alright? 7 paragraphs and 7 headings. So if you have 7 paragraphs and you have 7 headings to choose from, is it easier or more difficult? Easy. Why? Sir, easy. Bakit? Wala na. Sabi ko lang, easy. Bahala ka po eh. Ano? Justify. Why? They match one another, di ba? Tapat-tapat lang yan eh. Oh, may 7 kang tanong, may 7 kang sagot, hanapin mo lang yun. Just have to point the answer to the right question or vice versa. But if you have 7 paragraphs to choose from and there are 10 headings on your options, that means there are 3 headings that are there to confuse you. Ang lito. Okay naman, malilito. Siyempre. Dahil doon, magtatagal. So the reason why I chose matching headings to paragraph as the first topic I would like to tackle today in the reading subtest is because the level of difficulty of any reading set is determined solely by how many matching headings questions are there, how many true, false, not given questions are there. At tayong pakialam sa mga type your answers na yan or causes and effect or multiple choice. Madadali yan. Si matching headings, it requires you to read entire paragraphs. Exactly what I am warning you about. We don't want to read entire paragraphs because it's going to consume a lot of time. So, it's up to you which one you want to do. You want to do the heading first before the paragraph? Or you want to do the paragraph first before the heading? It's up to you. But what I do is I read the paragraph first before choosing a proper heading. Especially if there are more headings than paragraphs. Now, I will answer the question, why I do that? Bakit ginagawa mo yung sinasabi mong wag namin gagawin? Bakit sinasabi mong basahin namin siya ng buo, sabi mo nga wag namin yun gagawin? Only at matching headings into paragraphs, I do that. I do that if there are more headings than paragraphs. Why? Because I want to be pointed at exactly what the proper answer is without confusing myself. Because if I choose headings first, take a look at this. 7 doon tama, 3 panggulo. Paano kung ang hinahanap mong heading doon sa paragraph, pinagbabangga mo sila, you're matching them against each other, yung hinahanap mo palang heading, yung pala yung panggulo. So nag-ubos ka lalo ng oras. Are you getting the point? Clear? Any questions so far? Come on, if you guys have any, baka may tanong kayo. Zoom people! Buhay pa ba kayo dyan? So, Ira, Artan, Cesario, Elaine, Jovan, Karen, Princess, Brendo, Ryan. If you have any questions, feel free to type in whatever queries you may have in our Zoom chat. Okay? Since you're not allowed to unmute yourself. Ito po ay sample passage. Huwag ganun kayo agad. Ikli-ikli yan eh. Mahaba pa nga ito eh. 3 paragraph yan, isa lang na ito eh. How many headings? 10. How many paragraphs? 6. Diba? Mas mahirap pa dun sa binigay kong sample kanina. Kasi kanina, 7 out of 10. Ito, 6 out of 10. So, ilan yung panggulo dyan? 4. Almost half of the headings there would confuse you. Kaya nga, pag diagnostic exam tayo, especially before, nung ginagawa pa natin itong diagnostic exam, kasi marketing strategy po namin yun, libre lang po kasi orientation diagnostic. Walang nakakatama dyan. Para maisip nila, ay, kailangan kong mag-review kasi kung mali sagot ko. Ba? Yun eh, marketing strategy. Kaya nakaganito ako eh. I'm salesperson. Okay? So, you have 6 paragraphs to work on. Actually, 7 nga yan. Nasagutan na po yung paragraph A. Answer is Roman numeral 10. So, we have 6 paragraphs, 9 headings to choose from. Unahin natin si B. Kasi yun yung sagot. Ba't ko na kailangan sagutan yung A? Bakit? May sagot na eh. Ang question 1, paragraph B. Ba't babasahin ko pa yung A? Tara ba ulo ko? Hindi na, di ba? Hindi mo na siya sasagutan. So, sa B ka po agad pupunta. Back in the 1950s, anthropologist Edward T. Hall described how the social rules of time are like a silent language for a given culture. So that is the main point of this paragraph. These rules might not always be made explicitly stated, but they exist in the air. It describes how variations in the perception of time can lead to misunderstandings between people from separate cultures. An ambassador has been kept waiting before a visitor needs to understand that if this visitor just utters an apology, this is not necessarily an insult, Paul wrote. You must know the social rules of the country to know at what point apologies are reached. So what did we get from the paragraph? Ano pong matutunan natin? Sure, wala po. Ito, tama! Wala po akong naiintindihan. Sa kahit ano pong binasa niyo na yan. Totoo yun, tama ba? Naiintindihan ka? Mami ka, totoo. Ikaw, naiintindihan ka? Wala. Diba? Pero ito gusto kong maintindihan niyo. Ako rin, wala akong naiintindihan. Wala akong binasa yan. Diba? But I'm not wasting my time when I read that. First, I want to understand what are the words that saturate the paragraph. Time. Nabanggit ni Edward Hall yung concept ng time tungkol sa culture. Pinatunayan yun dito sa first sentence. And then, meron tayong sub-idea, these rules na naman. So, ang concept ng paragraph na to is about how a person should understand time in relation to culture because different cultures have different rules set in understanding the concept of time. That is what the paragraph means. Puro tungkol yan sa culture, social, rules, puro tungkol doon. Rules, culture, time, rules, law, culture. Doon umikot yung paragraph. So ngayon, mas madali na ba sa akin siyang mag-gets? Hanapin natin sagot. Ang nabasa ko ba ay tungkol sa time and technological development? Ang nabasa ko ba ay tungkol sa problem for those researching attitudes to time? Research to tungkol sa time, pero walang nabanggit tungkol sa attitude. Learning the laws of time for intercultural understanding. Gusto mo kitang yes? Kaya! Ay, tama ka. Okay? We will consider this. Because this is about law, rules, culture, to understand the different rules of time depending on culture. Wala naman nabanggit sa psychology. Wala naman nabanggit sa group of workers. May research nga. Wala naman nabanggit na conclusion. Hindi ito history about time measurement. Hindi ito attitudes to time and authority. May authority, dito lang siya. Pero, as an example lang. So, variation in the theoretical views of time. Theoretical, no. Cultural. So, ang sagot natin ay 3. Okay? Hindi ako nagagalit. Nasa pa. Subukan pa natin ulit. Diba? Okay po? Social psychologist Robert V. Levine says, One of the beauties of studying time is that it's a wonderful window on culture. Oh, sir, culture na naman. O, teka lang. You get answers on what cultures value and believe in. Levine and his colleagues have conducted so-called pace of life studies in 31 countries. So siya daw po ay gumawa ng pag-aaral. In the Geography of Time, yung title ng book niya, published in 1997, Levine describes how he ranked, ranking, the countries by measuring three things: walking speed on urban sidewalks, how quickly postal clerks could fulfill a request for a common stamp, and the accuracy of public clocks. From the data he collected, he concluded that the 5 fastest paced countries are Switzerland, Ireland, Germany, Japan, and Italy, and 5 slowest are Syria, El Salvador, Brazil, Indonesia, and Mexico. So, una, binanggit siya about culture. Nakakatuwa daw pag-aralan ng time in relation to culture. That's why he conducted a study. So, hindi po ito cultural lang, kundi geographical na. Dahil involved na po ang iba't ibang bansa. Ayon sa kanyang pag-aaral, may 5 mabibilis at 5 mababagal na bansa. At nandito po yun sa dulo ng paragraph. So hanapin natin. Ito po ba ay time and technological development? Ito po ba ay a problem for those researching attitudes to time? Research ba ito tungkol sa time? Yes. Pero tungkol ba ito sa attitude? No. 3, nabanggit na. Hindi ito yun. Time and individual psychology. Tungkol ito sa time, but there is not a specific mention about someone's psych about it. Comparing the value of time for different groups of workers. Kinumpare ba yung value ng time? Yes, pero hindi po ito sa workers. Kasi, kinumpare yung time ng urban sidewalks, hindi naman worker yun. Postal clerks, yun lang yung nag-isang worker. At yung public clock, hindi naman din siya worker. So, hindi rin po ito. Research and conclusions on the speed different nationalities live at. Meron bang research? Meron bang conclusion? Meron bang speed dyan? Mabagal, mabilis? Ng iba't ibang bansa? Yes. So, anong sagot natin dito sa C? Research and conclusions, different nationalities. Nakuha? Okay. Ano? Natin, sagutan pa natin iba. Questions? Before we proceed to the main event. Ito guys, talaga, madugo to. Matagal tayo dyan. Tatagal po tayo dito. Kung walang question, ako po ay nagpa-ultrasound kahapon. Teka nga. Pause ko muna. So I've mentioned true, false, not given is going to be our main event. So 2/3 of the time that we will be consuming for the reading discussion will be provided solely for true, false, not given. Why? It's the most difficult part of the IELTS reading test. Okay? So difficult that it could be really frustrating, knowing that when you encounter these questions in the test, out of the 6, you may just get 1 correct answer, and that is because you got lucky. That is how difficult true, false, not given is. So we will make it easier by learning how to deal with this properly. Okay pa? So hindi po mahirap yan kung alam mo lang paano approach. So depending on the instruction given to you, you may type true, false, not given directly. You may even encounter it being named as yes, no, not given. Sometimes it becomes IE. That means insufficient evidence, hindi po internal exam for OB-GYN. So in reality, there's a statement that you need to evaluate. So let's try answering this question. In the world today, there are at least 1 million students learning English abroad. And when you refer to the passage, you found your keyword 1 million on the 4th paragraph, and it says there are around more than 1 million students studying the English language in another country. Now, if you're going to translate the question in Tagalog, sa mundo natin ngayon, may mahigit 1 milyong mag-aaral na natututo ng English sa ibang bansa. Kung tatagalugin mo rin yung passage, gano'n na gano'n din ang ibig sabihin niya. Sa mundo natin ngayon, may mahigit 1 milyong mag-aaral na natututo ng English sa ibang bansa. The answer for this situation is true. Why? Because the contents of the passage accurately represents the contents of the question. They are exactly alike. They share accurate information. They are apple to apple. Okay? Parehas. Ang pinagkaiba. Pinalitan lang yung mga salita, pero yung ibig sabihin, the meaning is the same, the content is the same. They're essentially a copy of one another. That is when we answer. Okay? And trust me, you would not see through often as an answer in the IELTS reading exam. Why? Bakit? Ang dali eh. Parehas ba kayo? Oo, true. Pero makadali exam, hindi. They want to make this test a bit more difficult for you. So that if you need to get 7 in reading and you got 6.5, you will tell yourself, oh, sayang, konti na lang. Take pa ako ulit, another 12.5. And then that time, nakakuha ka ng 7. That is one of their business strategies. So I'm sharing this to you because I don't want you to get scammed. I'm sharing this to you because I want you to know that if you are in doubt, alam niyo ba, nangyari na ba sa inyo? Parang may kutob ako eh. Parang may pakiramdam akong hindi maganda. Yung hinala, alam niyo yan? Bawa, yung asawa ko parang meron siyang kinikitang iba eh. Wala akong ebidensya pero nararamdaman ko. Nangyari na sa inyo yan? Maniwala kayo sa ganun. Huh? Mga girls. Mamaya. Yan yung Facebook na asawa mo. Yung mga TikTok yan. Yung mga apps. Huh? Kayo din boys. May naman kayo hinala minsan. Totoo yun. Totoo. Nag-iinuman lang kami nila, Mark, at saka nila John. Tatlong lalaking kasama, iinom sila. Sige, dalawa naman yung mga yan eh. Niwala ka. So, pag may hindi ka na magandang feeling, niwala ka, hindi po true. Because they will not let students have it easy. So true, let's say out of the 7 questions, it will appear 1 to 2 times, and that's it. This is the question, compare it with the passage. Parehas naman, true ang sagot. O diba? In as fast as 30 seconds, already have an answer. Now here's the deal. When we were studying back at the primary school, we were introduced to the concept of true and false, right? True, false. Tama ba? Na-introduce tayo sa concept yan. Is this true, false type of question easy or not? Easy. Yes. Tell yourself that. True, false questions are easy questions. But IELTS made this easy question difficult by introducing the concept of not even. That is a totally different character from the usual suspects that we know. May inintroduce na panibago. Nagulo tuloy yung balanse. Nagkakaintindihan? Yeah. So, gumulo yung storya kasi may pinasok na panibago. May third party. Okay na sana may sumingit sa gitna. Yun si not given. Kaya siya mahirap intindihan. So, understanding truth is essentially the same as what you know about truth. If this is the question, it means the same thing as the content of the passage or the story or the paragraph you've read, then that is your answer. You got it. True. But false and not given, they're completely separate entities now. You're separated. So here's an example of a situation when false becomes the answer. Here's a sample. Look at the question on your left. In the world today, there are at least 1 million students. Ano ibig sabihin ng at least? Mga to, drawing pa ako para maintindihan. Ibig sabihin, hindi bababa sa 1 milyon. Sa Tagalog, 1 million, 1 hanggang infinity. Greater than 1 million. Kung hinanap mo sa passage, sabi, there are no more than 1 million. Hindi daw lalagpas sa 1 milyon. Ano yan? Less than 1M. Now, here's the thing that you will tell yourself. First, this is the first thing you will tell yourself. You will not consider true as an answer anymore. Sabi mo sa sarili mo, teka, may hindi parehas sa pagitan nilang dalawa. So, I will disregard true as an answer now. I'm only left between not given and false. Malinaw? So, tinanggal mo na yung true sa equation. From 33% chance of getting the correct answer, you made this percentage 50-50. Pwedeng tama, pwedeng mali. Dalawa na lang po ang pagpipilian. False at not given. So you will no longer consider true as an answer. Bakit false at bakit hindi not given? There is an inaccuracy of information presented. When you say inaccuracy, less than 1 million versus greater than 1 million, they are contrasting. They are not entirely opposite, but they are different from one another. That is when you answer false. Malinaw? So look for keywords that refer negativity. Tulad po ng mga no, not, search for antonyms, mga dis, un, mis, because they depict the negative. So, pag sinabi nating false, hindi lang po siya basta-basta opposite. Halimbawa, bigyan ko kayo ng sample. Eh, ba't pula? So let me give you a sample. Hindi pala ako pwede magpatay ng mic dahil naka-microphone tayo sa baba. Let me give you a sample here. Let me type the question. Ay, tama ba? Tama ba? Baliktad. Baliktad, yeah. So we have here two questions. Nakikita naman po, no? So first question, sabi, Kevin's house is no south. South of Other Bay. Nanap mo siya sa passage, pumunta ka sa passage, sabi niya, Kevin's house is located north of Other Bay. Unang-unang gagawin mo dyan, you will no longer consider true as an answer. You only are left with false and not even. Now you ask yourself, is south and north the same? No. Are they opposite? Yes. The answer is false. Yun yung una. Punta ka sa pangalawang tanong. Sabi, teka, pinaglalaroan na ako na to. Kevin's house is east of Other Bay. North and east are not entirely opposite. But east is not north and north is not east. They are inaccurate representations of one another. Therefore, the answer is still going to be false. Malinaw? Magkaiba sila eh. Parehas ba yung north at east? Parehas ba yung north at south? Anong sagot? False. Madali? Komplikado? Hindi. Kaya? Kaya mamaya. Okay? Okay, panibagong tanong. Kevin's house is located north. Mamaya rin. Sige. So we have south, we have north. They are not accurate information. The answer is false. East and then north, they are accurate pieces of information. Inaccurate piece of information. The answer is false. Next, here is an actual excerpt from a real exam. Study destination choices are influenced by proximity to home. Tagalogin ka? Okay. Yung lugar, yung paaralan na mapipili ng isang estudyante ay nakabase sa lapit nito sa kanyang tirahan. Yun po ang sabi sa question. Pumasa ako sa passage, nahanap ko yung content. Numerous studies conducted in Britain and the US show that country of choice depends to a lot extent on economic factors. Anong sabi sa passage? Yun daw, paaralan kung saan ang isang estudyante ay mag-aaral, ay nakadepende sa kanyang kakayahang magbayad ng tuition. Ang tanong, yung lapit ng bahay at tuition fee ba ay magkaparehas? Hindi. So we will not consider true anymore. You're only left with not given and false. So why false is the answer? Because proximity to home is an inaccurate piece of information versus economic factors. Simply, si proximity to home ay hindi si economic factors. Simply. Nagets? Parang ganito lang yan. Ha? Parang ganito lang. Wala pong pinagkaiba yan dito. Type ko ha. Person is considered having a fever if one's temperature is greater than 37.5 degrees Celsius. Sabi sa question, person is considered having a fever if one's temperature is greater than 36.5 degrees Celsius. Tingnan niyo po yung figure. 36.5 and 37.5 are not the same. Malinaw? Paano kung gawin kong ganito? Ginawa ko tong 37.5. Pero, Not. Person is considered not having a fever if one's temperature is greater than 37.5. False pa rin po yan. Because of the existence po nung not. Exactly what I said a while ago. Look for keywords that depict negativity. No, not, antonyms, prefixes, miss, this, in, inability, ability, behave, misbehave, engage, disengage, believe, disbelief. So look for those keywords. Clear? Missing info. So this is a very common situation that you will encounter. Look at the question. It says, the lab card shows 1 student's name and 2 number. So how many pieces of information was mentioned in the question? 2. You referred to the passage. You read the contents. The lab card shows here student's name 1, now course and number. So how many pieces of information? 3. So take a look at this. 2 pieces of information is not equivalent to 3. Therefore, the first thing you have to do is to remove true from the equation. You're only left between choosing whether it's false or not given. Why are we going to answer false? Because the missing information is in the question. Okay po? Sige, lagyan natin ng sitwasyon. Anong Tagalog ng false? Mga lalaki, ang Tagalog ng false. Mali. Kami po yun. Ano? Kami po kaming tama eh. Okay? Ma'am, ilan po kayo magkakapatid? 2. Sabi ko, ma'am, ano ba? 3 sila magkakapatid. Tapos nasabihin, uy, teka lang. Mali yun. That's false. Because actually, 2 lang po. I guess the point. So, kung sabi mo, ang siblings mo ay sibling mo ay si, Ace at ikaw ay si Ann. Si Ace tsaka si Ann. Tapos sabi ko, magkakapatid si Ace, si Ann, tsaka si aneurysm. So, may sumobra. Saan sumobra? Sa passage. So, take a look at this, ha? Take a look at this. Tagalog. Type mo, isulat mo, tandaan mo, no? Kulang. Question. Sobra. Passage. Answer is false. Kulang yung info. Kulang yung info sa question. Sobra yung info sa passage. The answer is false. Clear? Yun lang kakandaan mo. Wala nang komplikasyon. Sabi dyan, paborito mong color, yellow and blue. Sa question. Pumunta ka sa passage, yellow, blue, green. Kulang sa question. Sobra sa passage, false. Ang patumpik-tumpik pa. Yun yan. Ang explanation, inaccurate representation of the information between the passage and the question. Tagalog, kulang question, sobra passage, false. Yun yan. To make it easier for you to remember. Okay? Questions? Guys, di ako mag-move forward sa kasunod hanggat hindi ka okay dito. Walang maiiwan. Lahat tayo. Tama dapat lahat. Now, let us talk about everyone's Achilles heel in the reading test. Not given. Ano po ba sa Tagalog ng not given? Ano ma'am? Hindi binigay. Hindi nabanggit. Hindi nasusulat. Hindi nakasaad sa kasulatan. Pastor na ang galawan natin. Hindi binigay, hindi binanggit. Hindi mo siya nakita doon. It's non-existent. Take a look at the sample. In the question, ano bang unang binabasa? Ma'am, anong unang binabasa? Question. Anong unang binabasa? Question. Anong unang binabasa? Question. Ang unang pong binabasa ay question. So binasa si question. The lab card shows student's name, course, number, year level. Ilan? 4 pieces of information. Pumunta sa passage. The lab card shows student's name, course, number. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. May imbalance na naman. There's something wrong. They're not equal. Correct? They're not equal. 4 on the question, 3 on the passage. What are you going to do? First, remove true from the equation. Which means you're only left between 2. Not given and false. You have already increased your chance of getting the correct answer, 50-50. You remove the other character. Okay. Anong sagot dyan? Sir, not given. Bakit? Sir, yun yung nakalagay dyan eh. Not given. So, yes, that is the easy answer. Ayun na po yung nakalagay. But di ibahin ko pa. Tama ba? Okay. So, just to explain in a long manner why this is not given. Simply because student's name, course, and number are all mentioned between the question and the passage. Whereas year level, tingnan niyo yung word na gagamitin ko, was not given, not provided, not seen on the passage. Therefore, it can only mean one thing. The answer is not given. Yun po yung mahabang paliwanag. Sino ba na madali? Madaling paliwanag? Ito yung madaling paliwanag. Sobra question. Kulang passage. Not given. Hirapan ko pa yung sarili ko. Ganun din naman yun. Okay? Could be tricky, I know. But if you know saan nagkulang, saan sumobra, it's easier for us to differentiate which is not given, which is false. Just to explain why they are both not true, ito po ay not given simply because year level is not mentioned in the text. It is not provided there. You cannot see it there. It is not given. Hence, hindi siya ibinigay. Hindi siya nakalagay. Wala siya doon. Not given. So, yun po yung example ng madaling not given. Bakit? May mahirap ba na not given? Yes. Meron pong mahirap na not given. At ito po yung sample niya. Sabi sa question, Kevin's favorite fruit is apple. Hinanap ko sa passage. Saan yung passage ko? Kevin's favorite fruit is apple. So, kaya yan. May nakita ko, Kevin. Ilagay. Kevin mentioned that including a cup of fruit in one's diet would enhance the digestion, including banana, strawberry, and apple. Anong sagot? Not given. Bakit? Hindi naman directly binanggit na favorite na yung apple. Isa pa. According to study, sleeping in the afternoon would increase someone's lifespan for up to 5 more years. Naka 7 minutes ka na. Hilog-hilog ka na, hindi mo pa rin siya nakita. Ibig sabihin na. Ay, anong hanap mo? Paghihintay mo. Isang bagay, hindi naman dati. Wala siya doon. Hindi na siya babalik pa sa buhay mo. Ay, ito na pala. Okay, so, not given po. So, it means you will not see it no matter how many times you seek for it. Simply because it's not even there. Simply because it's not there in the first place. So don't waste your time and effort. Mamaya may tuturo ako sa inyong technique para mapadali yung paghahanap ng not given na hindi talaga siya binigay in the first place. Pero mamaya pa. Okay lang po ba kung mamaya pa? Okay lang kasi wala kayong magagawa. Yung gusto ko eh. No? Okay. At the end of the day, ako pa rin po ang masusunod. If you cannot find it in the passage, there is an additional information presented in the question, even if it is most likely true. Parang true eh. Pero parang duda ako. Iwala ka sa kutob mo. Hindi po yan true. Malamang not given. Okay? Explain. Explain. So, mga Zoom participants, I'm inviting you to join our little game of true, false, not given. I want you to participate. I have here a question on the left and the passage on the right. You just have to tell me what the answer is. So, according to the question, the lab card shows the student's name, course, and number. Whereas in the passage, it states the lab card does not show the student's name, course number, and year level. So, I'll give you 1 minute and 30 seconds to be exact. Write your answer, whatever you want to write it down. Huwag lang po sa desk namin. May sumagot na po sa Zoom. Gusto ko mga matatapang sa Zoom eh. Kasi hindi natin sila nakikita. Tapang yan. Tapang kayo kasi nasa likod kayo ng laptop. Mga cellphone nyo. So, magtatanong po tayo. Ma'am, ano po ang sagot natin? Dito sa question natin na to? False? Sino pa po ang false ang sagot? Huwag mo pangunahan. Paano kung di false ang sagot niya? Sino pa po ang false? Taas ang kamay. False? Sino po ang sagot ng true? True. Wala pong sasagot ng true. Ha? Dahil pag true ang sagot mo, sasakit kita ng lapis sa mata. Nilagay ko na nga show tsaka does not show eh. So may ibig sabihin yan. No? So hindi mo isasagot yung true. So ang sagot ng karamihan po ay false. May magsasagot ng not given? May sumagot ng not given. Si sir sumagot ng not, si ma'am nag-not given. Sino pa? Okay. Ang sagot po ay false. Actually, double false nga yan. Kasi may show and does not show. Tapos, kulang kay question, sobra kay passage. Kahit alisin mo pa parehong show yan, false pa rin po ang sagot. Tingnan nga natin sa Zoom. Puro false ang kanilang sagot. Sabi ni Princess, not given. Sabi nung iba, false. Okay, Princess, bawi ka ha. Huwag mo hayaang ibuli ka nila. So ito po ay hango na po sa ating diagnostic examination from 2016 to 2018. Question, There are subversive elements in children's literature. In the passage, adults often fail to recognize the subversive elements in books their children read. So you have three answers to choose from: true, false, and not given. I'll give you 1 minute and 30 seconds to write your answer down before I ask questions. Unahin po muna natin ngayon yung Zoom na buksan para malaman natin ano yung sagot nila. Baka kasi narinig lang nila yung mga sagot natin, gaya-gaya sila. Zoom talaga na yan. Okay? 30 seconds. Kasi kung naghanap ng Google eh. O ganun na. Hindi ko na alam. Sino may alam ng subversive? Wala, di ba? O. Context ang gagamitin niyo dyan. Okay. Unahin na natin yung sagot ng mga nasa Zoom. Karen, nag-start, not given. Angela and Arton, not given silang lahat. Kasama si Princess. Yan. So, sumapi na po si Princess sa movement. Okay. What about the branch? Ma'am, ano pong sagot natin? True, false, or not given? False ang sagot ni ma'am. What about you, ma'am? Nasaan yan? Baka ikaw naman gumagaya sa kanila. Sabi mo, mali silang lahat eh. Not given si ma'am. Ito, ma'am. False. Ikaw. False. Taas kamay ng false. Mataya kayo. Sagot nyo yan eh. Pag-exam, mula umpisa hanggang huli. Muna labag sa loob mo yung pagsagot. Oh. Tama sa totoong exam yan. Taas kamay ng false. Taas kamay ng not given. Kaya sumagot ng true. Kasi pwedeng true. Diba? Pwede. O, nag-true si Sir. Ano sa'yo, salesman ako eh. Maraming mapapaniwala eh. Alright? There are subversive elements in children's literature. Tingnan natin yung... Okay, sagot ng mga nasa Zoom, puro not given. Karamihan ng sagot ng nasa branch ay false. At may isang nag-true. Sagot po natin ay not given. So, paliwanag ko kung bakit. Nakita nyo ba yung subversive elements? Tingnan nyo ha, tingnan nyo. Na-mention ba yung subversive elements dito sa passage? Sir, yes, ito. Subversive elements. Okay. But, take a look at this. If we're going to understand it better, ang claim ni question is general. Merong subversive elements sa children's literature. Kung ano man yung subversive, bahala na si Lord kung ano yan. Hindi ko na alam. Diba? Tulad yan ng sabi ko, sa exam, wala tayong kakayahan mag-google. Wala tayong dictionary dyan. So, there are subversive elements in children's literature. Tagalog, merong subversive elements. Is that a general statement? Yes. Parang sinabi ko, lahat ng mga babae, lalakero. Lahat ng mga lalaki ay mahilig manood ng bold. Oh. Diba? That's a general statement. It doesn't mean it's true for everyone. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng question. Ngayon, basahin ko si passage. Kasi, hindi natin ibabase sa kung saang haka-haka. Doon natin yan ibabase sa passage. Adults often fail to recognize the subversive elements in books their children read. Ito pong books, they're not entirely representing the entire children's literature genre. That is why this is not given. Because every book their children read does not even contain subversive elements opposite from the claim of the question. So, not given yung general statement, general consensus na yun. Okay po? Now, unahin natin yung mga nasa branch. Mga man nasa Zoom, pag sinabi ko, tsaka pa lang po kayo sasagot. Baka nagagayahan lang din kayo dyan. Okay? Question. There is an unrealistic view of money in children's literature. When I referred to the passage, it says, there should be a more realistic view of money in children's literature. Key in your answers, everyone. I'll give you 1 minute for that. At hindi na 1 minute and 30. Yung nga pala, hindi na natin kailangan hanapin yung sagot. Angela, kumparahin mo na lang. That's my key na. 11:30 na pala. Malati kang tayo. Okay. So, may naglagay na ng sagot sa Zoom. Ang tigas ng ulo. Sabi ko, sabay-sabay ka akong mag-sagot. Pag nakita ko kung sino yung nauna na yan, ha? Sabi ko sa'yo. Okay. Unahin natin. Ano na nito? Ito ko natatanong. Ma'am, anong sagot niya? True. False. Not given. False. False. Not given. Not given. True. Aba, iba-iba, no? Taas nga kamay ng true. Taas kamay ng false. Taas kamay ng not given. Kating-hati po tayo, no? Okay, Zoom. Now's your chance. I'll give you 10 seconds to type your answers sa Zoom chat. Okay? Nauna po si Elaine, not given. Karen, not given. Ira, false. Arton, not given. Angela and Princess, false. Yeah. So, ang sagot po ay not given. Bakit? Ito ha, ito. Ito guys, mas simple kaysa sa kanina. Unrealistic. Nakita mo ba ito dito? Binigay ba ito dito? Is it mentioned here? Was it mentioned here? No. Opposite. So, unrealistic, realistic. Hindi opposite yun, ha? Bakit? Bakit hindi opposite? Kasi kung iintindihin mo yung context, ang sabi dito, there should be a more realistic. Nagbibigay siya ng suggestion. Diba? Sinabi, you should cut your hair. Or, you know what, you should try coloring your hair blue. Bigay ka ng suggestion. Hey, you know what, you should stop smoking. But a suggestion is different from a fact. Pag sinabi kong, you should dye your hair blue. Is your hair blue? No! So, ang sagot natin, ay not. Palungkot kayo ng palungkot. Zoom! Kaya mauna. Question. Inland freight in United Kingdom is carried by road. Inland freight in United Kingdom is not carried by water. Zoom participants will be the first to key in your answers in 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Meron na po silang sagot. Taas kamay ng true dito sa ating branch. True, anyone? None. False. Not given. Confidence. I like that. Like that. Confidence. You know? Spark in your eyes. So, tingnan po natin ang sabi ng mga nasa Zoom. Nagsimula kay Ira. Not given, not given, not given. Arto, not given. Elaine, not given. Ang tamang sagot ay not given. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga sarili. Yes, kumama rin. Bakit? Before, they thought that dahil hindi siya carried by road, so not carried by water. So that doesn't mean the same. So the answer here is not given because this carried by road is not mentioned here. Nakita mo ba ito dito? Nakita mo ba ito dito? Hindi! Ano sagot? Simple! Let me give you an example. Pag side-by-side comparison natin, itong false and not given. Ito po yung sample ng false. Sabi dyan, standard at tertiary institutions are improving, according to the question. Sa passage, it states standards at tertiary institutions are deteriorating. Na-mention po ba yung standards at tertiary institutions? Yes. But the question says improving, opposite of what's in the passage, deteriorating. Hence, the answer being false. Nakuha? Nakuha po? Now take a look. Again, this time, sabi kay question, standards at tertiary institutions are improving. Nagpunta ako dun kay passage. Hindi ko nakita yung standards at tertiary institutions. May nakita ako, standards at primary institutions. Na-mention ba yung tertiary institutions dun sa passage? Hindi. Anong na-mention? Primary institutions. That's why the answer is not given. Because the concept of tertiary institutions does not exist in the passage. Gets? Ay, salamat. Kayo mag-alala. Nagdagdag pa ako ng mga tanong dito. No? So, talaga. Madami talaga. Mag-i-exam kayo. 40 yan. Nakakailan pa lang tayo? 5? Oh. Gusto nyo? 10 exam? So, multiple choice. Choose the correct answer from A to D. According to the passage, which of the following statements is supported by recent research? Hindi ko na po kayo pahihirapan. First paragraph. Fourth sentence, recent studies. Bakit doon ako nagsimula? Kasi alin daw ba yung supported lang by recent research? Ang recent research at recent studies ay synonymous. Are showing that if you can take a 15 to 30 minute nap while at work, in the afternoon, you'll be more alert, more energetic, happier doing what you do, more productive, and therefore more likely to get ahead. So, ang sagot ba ay A, napping is an indicator of laziness. Hindi. Sagot ba ay B, 2/3 of Americans sleep too much. Hindi din. Ang sagot ba ay C, napping in the workplace is the current trend. There was no mention of that as well. Short naps at work increase productivity. Yung po bang 15 to 30 minutes ay short nap? Yung po bang increased productivity na nandun sa D ay more productive dito naman sa passage? Yes. So, ang sagot natin sa question 1 ay letter. Short naps at work, increase productivity. Dapat yung mga bus driver natin, pinapaidlip natin sila para nag-drive sila. Para mas productive sila sa kanilang maghapon. Okay? So, meron pa tayo. True, false, not given. Di pa tayo tatantanan yan. Sabi ko nga, one item, A, B, C, D. The following 6 items, puro true, false, not given. In this case, yes, no, not given. Number 2. The number 1 cause of car accidents is fatigue. Tingnan nyo. Para lalo nyo nang maintindihan yung sagot, naka-highlight na yan ha. Tatapat ko pa yung question. Magkatabi na sila. Sila na lang matitirang dalawa. Ayan na. Alisin na rin natin itong yan. Sabi sa question,
the number one cause of auto accidents, car accidents, fatigue. Yan. Katabi na sila. Guys. Yan o. According to the question, it says the number one cause of car accidents is fatigue. When you refer to the passage, it states, he says, sleepiness is the leading cause of auto accidents, second only to drunkenness. What will be your answer? Is it yes, no, or not given? Kaya sabi mo basta-basta sumasagot, isip-isip mo konti, ah? Basta. Zoom people, come on. Key in your answers. I want to see them. So, natanong na natin yung mga gitna. Dito naman, hindi ko pa natatanong. Ma'am? Ikaw. No, ang sagot ni ma'am. Ma'am, naka-stripes na white? Yes, no, or not given? No din? Ano ba ti ma'am? Not given? Bakit ka natatanong? No? No. Wow, ang daming no, ha? Punta tayo dito sa Zoom. Hindi ko makita kasi naka-black. Yan. Naka-highlight ako. May sagot na po lahat. Taas kamay ng no. Taas kamay ng not given. Taas kamay ng true. Yes. Wala. Wala yung suki ko. Okay? So, ang sagot po ni Ira ay not given. Sagot ni Arton at ni Elaine ay no. Ang sagot po ay no. Because it is the opposite. Bakit? The number one cause of car accident is fatigue. Sabi sa passage, sleepiness is the leading cause of auto accident. Second only, tingnan nyo ha? Tingnan nyo. Gigigil ako. Kung manakan. Yung fatigue at sleepiness ay synonymous dito sa context natin. Ibig sabihin, in any other day, in some other occasions, they are not interchangeable. But this time around, they are. So, sabi niya dyan, yung sleepiness daw, a leading cause. Ibig sabihin, nangungunang dahilan ng aksidente sa sasakyan. Okay? Pero, hindi siya number one. Ano siya? Second. Second siya saan? Pumapangalawa daw siya saan? Sa pagiging lasing. So, ano ang top one na cause ng car accident? Drunkenness. Ano ang top two? Sleepiness or fatigue. So, ang sagot natin ay no. Imbot sa imo, tanan. People who nap in the afternoon are lazy. Sige, alam ko may sagot tayo dyan. Ayan, sige, tatapat ko na dito. Gigigil ako sa inyo. Guys, bumawi naman kayo para sa sarili nyo. Yung kaya ang dyan na lang kakayahan nyo. Oh. Inapat ko na. Diyos ko, Lord. God, help my students. People who nap in the afternoon are lazy. "15 seconds. Pag-isipan. Bumawi this time. Kaya niya. I believe in you. Wala ako sa kakayahan niyo. Kaya niya. Ang number one kalaban mo ay sarili mo lang. Ano ko yan? Kaya ko mismo maglito sa sarili mo, ha? Okay. Sino pa may sagot ng yes? Bilangin ko lang. Taas, mabuti. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sino may sagot ng not even? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sino may sagot ng no? Wala? Wala may sagot ng no? Okay. So at least, di ba? Dalawa na lang yung pinamimilian natin. Sabi ng Zoom, teka, na-block ko na naman. Sabi ng Zoom, sabi ni Elaine, ni Arton, not given, ni Elaine, not given, ni Ira, not given. Ang sagot po ay not given. Bakit? Bakit? Nakita mo ba yung people who sleep in the afternoon is lazy? Sabi, they're lazy. But there's a tendency to associate lang. This is not a direct point of view. May mga pagkakataon na maaari nating iugnay ang pagtulog ng hapon sa katamaran. Kasi sabi ko, mga tutulog ng hapon, mga tamad. Magkaiba yon. So, hindi po binigay yung statement na yun. Clear? Number 4. Sagutan natin. Parang awang nila. Ha? Guys, gusto ko uniform ang sagot natin lahat dito. Bawi ha? Bawi. Bawi po tayo. Bawi tayo. Okay? Gumanti tayo sa exam. Sabi dyan, a nap in the middle of the day can improve your mood. Ito na sa pula. A nap in the middle of the day can improve your mood. A nap in the middle of the day can improve your mood. A nap. Nasa pula. Basahin ko. Recent studies are showing that if you can take a 15 to 30-minute nap while at work, in the afternoon, you'll be more alert, more energetic, happier doing what you do, more productive, and therefore more likely to get ahead. Is the answer yes? May you see the hands of those people who claim that the answer is yes? May you see it? Loud and proud. Come on. Stand proud, people. What about those of you who claim that this is no? It's not. Far from the truth. No. What about not given? Hindi na mention. Wala. So sa Zoom, may answer din sila, of course. I like the participation. Aha. Ang sagot ni Angela ay yes. Ni Elaine ay yes. Ang sagot po ay yes. Yeah. Happier doing. Improve ng mood. More energetic. Improve yan ng mood. So ang sagot po natin ay yes. Woo! Salamat! Palakpakan po natin mga sarili natin. Nakaligtas na rin po tayo. No? O, 6. Sagot pa natin 6. Yung kasing 5, sabihin ko na, not given yung sagot sa 5. Hindi mo kasi yan maharap sa buong passage. Pero itong 6, na inilagay din po dyan yung answer. Yan. All this. Majority of Americans. Takpan natin to. Baka malito pa kayo. Ayan. Question of Americans sleep at least 8 hours a night. Eto guys, gusto ko sabay-sabay po tayo ha. Sisigaw malakas. No? So meron lang po tayong 3 choice. Ito po yung choice number 1. Yes. Ito po yung choice number 2. No. And choice number 3. Not given. So bibilang po ako ng 10. Question. 2 out of 3. Sorry. Question. Majority of Americans sleep at least 8 hours at night. In the passage, it states 2 out of 3 Americans get less than 8 hours of sleep at night. 1, 2, 3. The answer is? Woo! Sarap. Napakasarap. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we get up early for on a Saturday lazy day. Huh? Maliligo ka, gagayak ka. Ano si ma'am, naka-blazer. Diba? Oh. Tapos, mali pa yung sagot mo. O di, ngayon, alam mo na. Kaya pala ako nag-blazer. Tama ang sagot ko. Okay? Ayan, si ma'am, blazer. Kaya pala si ma'am naka-perlas. Okay? Dapat worth it ang pagpasok. O sabi kasi sa question, at least, ibig sabihin ng 8 hours or more. Sabi dito, 2 out of 3, yun yung majority, 2/3 ang minority, 1/3 get less than 8. So, only now, na ang sagot natin ay no. Proud of you guys. Proud of you. Ayan, drawing. Drawing. Choose no more than 2 words. Ibig sabihin, pag sumagot ka ng 3 words, automatic, mali ang sagot. Clear? Clear ba? Okay. Ito po yung passage, pakita ko. The circulation of air in the atmosphere. Sabi ni sir, shit. No, narinig ko yan. Totoo. Pumunta ka kay question. Ano nga hanapin mo? Number 1, tingnan mo. KM. Ito, KM. Pupunta ka sa passage. Ano nga hanapin mo? KM. Mahirap? Mahirap. May nakita ba akong KM? Dalawa. 10,000 km, 10 km. Tingnan natin. Bumalik ako sa 1. Mineasure, mula dito yung arrow hanggang dun sa North Pole. Nakukuha. So ito po ay equator, ito po ay North Pole. Binasa ko yung unang sentence. The distance from equator to the pole is 10,000 km. Anong sagot ko sa 1? 10,000. Walang kilometer because the km letters are already put after the blank. So if you're going to put that again in your answer is wrong. So 10,000 lang po. Malinaw. Now, sabi dito, while the ceiling height to the beginning of the stratosphere is only about 10 km. Yung beginning ng stratosphere, ito. Tapos ito yung ceiling height. So ang sagot dito sa 2 ay 10 lang. So sir, nakakatakot po yung 3 kasi may mga umiikot na ipo-ipo eh. Madali lang yan. Ayan o, the air. Therefore, splits up into several smaller loops or convection cells. Ayan na. Between the equator and each pole, ito po yung equator, ito yung each pole, isa dyan sa north, isa sa south. There are 3 such cells. Ilan yung ipo-ipo? 1, 2, 3. Confirm natin, and within this circulation is mainly north to south. Mula ba siya taas, pababa? Yes. North to south, north to south, north to south. So ano daw tawag doon sa 3 na yun? Convection cells. It splits up into several smaller loops or convection cells. So nasagot ba natin yung 1 to 3? Nahirapan ba tayo? So umpisa, ka-overwhelm, yung mga ipo, yung mga drawing, yung mga mundo, ano yan. So kailangan lang po natin i-relax ang ating mga sarili. Yes, no, not given. Wow! Hindi ba tayo sa exam, most probably mga 15 items, puro true, false, not given na encounter. Kaya ngayon pa lang, sinasanay ko na kayo dyan. Hindi talaga tayo tatantanan yan. So this is your question number 1. Evidence so far indicates that further study of Shoemaker Levi will be worthwhile. The answer is yes. In paragraph 3, it is mentioned that scientists studying the chemical composition of the spots on Jupiter where Shoemaker Levi 9 hit thought they might see evidence of water and oxygen, 2 of the expected products when an icy comet vaporizes. And in the scientific community, this is a very important discovery. Therefore, requiring the entire community to study this further will be worthwhile. So the answer for number 1 is yes. Number 2, there are no physical differences between asteroids and comets. Tingnan nyo yung unang nakalagay sa sentence. Asteroids are rockier than comets. So tama ba na no physical difference sila? No. So ang sagot natin dyan ay napakasimple. The answer is no. In paragraph 4, the answer says, asteroids are luckier than comets. Yun pa lang, hindi buhay na yung answer. Next, the observation of Shoemaker-Levy was an immensely expensive undertaking. So ito po yung nangyari. Pakinggan ako mabuti. Kaya ako pinapakita tong panel na to because this is a very important tip that I want you guys to understand. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, na one of the ways to determine whether the answer is really not given is through this. Okay? So, number 3, sabi ko, teka, nahihilo na ako, hindi ko siya mahanap. Skip. Skip muna. Skip muna. Nakita? Ini-skip ko? Ini-skip ko ba si 3? Yes, pumunta ako sa 4. David Levy, being an amateur astronomer, was not taken seriously. The answer is no. The location of the answer is at paragraph 5. The initial lines of the 5th paragraph states that amateur astronomer David Levy, who, with Eugene and Carlin Shoemaker, discovered SL9, points out that comets were originally distinguished by their appearance. These lines suggest that the comet Shoemaker-Levy was discovered by them. They were the ones who originally distinguished the comets. Thus, the statement contradicts the information. The answer is no. So, ano po yung ibig kong ipakita dito? Tingnan nyo ha. Answer sa 2, no. Nasaan? Paragraph 4. Answer sa 3, skip. Answer sa 4, no. Paragraph 5. Ibig sabihin nun, oftentimes, this is not going to be absolute all the time. Sabihin na natin, ay 8 out of 10 true false not given sa buong, let's say 6 to 10 or 7 to 14 na entire true false not given, 8 out of 10 would be arranged in order. Meaning, they are most likely to come one after the other. So, hindi mo kumahanap yung sagot sa item 4, item 5, item 6 na mas mataas sa paragraph 4. Paragraph 3, paragraph 2, paragraph 1. Hindi mo siya makikita doon. Okay? Because this is how it is arranged. Tulad nung kanina, yung napping in the afternoon, yun po yung sample ng true, false, not given, which don't appear in order. Gusto ko lang kayo maging acquainted sa isang sample that doesn't appear in order at isang sample that appears in order because this sample that appears in order is really helpful, especially doon sa not given na part. Nakita? Ang sagot mo sa 2, sa paragraph 4 siya, ay no. And then, nandun siya sa last sentence. Sabihin, sa dulo ng paragraph 4, tama? Last. Sa paragraph 5, nasa first sentence. Ngayon, yung 3, ay nakapahanap ng hanap. Tinry mong bumaba sa paragraph 5, wala doon. Tinry mong umangat sa paragraph 3, wala pa rin. Na-determine mo that the answers appear in order. So, nabanggit yung sagot sa 2, paragraph 4, last sentence. Nabanggit yung sagot sa 4, paragraph 5, first sentence. So, walang space para mag-exist pa yung sagot sa 3. Most likely, the answer is none at all. It isn't there. Wala siya doon talaga. Hindi siya ibinigay. It was not mentioned in the text at all. Cannot find it no matter how hard you look for it. That's why, kung in-skip mo si 3, sabihin mo, okay, I know the answer without even looking at it. It is not given. Nagets? That's an important tip. I hope na magamit niyo siya sa exam. All right. Thank you very much, Zoom participants. I really appreciate your participations, Ira, Angela, Arton, Elaine, Karen, and Princess. See you guys on the next. The replay of this lecture will be posted later today, around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There will be activities that I will also post. The name of the activity is Difficult Reading 2. There will be an explanation of the answers. So meaning, paliwanag ko lang po muna sa mga nasa Zoom bago ko po ito i-cut No? So, I will post. Pati din po sa mga dito sa branch. I will post. Ano ipopost? Ayan natin. Activity via Google Drive. Okay? So I will post an activity via Google Drive. This is difficult reading. So at Niner, we gathered all the possible difficult to extreme levels of the reading test. We compiled it into one. That's why we come up with the difficult reading part. So what we want you to do is to spend 1 hour, 20 minutes, since 4 passages po ito. If meron kang 3 passage sa isang reading test, that means you have to spend roughly 20 minutes per passage. Since 4 po yung passage doon, 1 hour, 20 minutes ang time. Okay, natapos. May sagot ka na, tama? So, kunin mo si answer sheet mo. Get it. Now, watch the rationalization video that I will also include in the link. Kakaintindihan? So, step-by-step process. Click the link of the activity. Have it printed if you want. It's fine, even if you don't. Write your answers on an answer sheet. Write them down. Saan? Kahit saan papel. No? And then, after having the answer completed, all your answers are already on a sheet of paper, watch the rationalization video. So this is a 40 to 15-minute video explaining why the answer is A, where can you find the answer, why it's B and not C. So kaya po siya rationalization. I will try my hardest to explain every ounce of reason why this is the answer and why your answer is wrong. Okay? So yun po ang gagawin natin later today. Okay, so Zoom participants, thank you. I appreciate your participations. Have a nice day. God bless and good luck on your exams. Goodbye.